I'm irritated and very frustrated. So here's a little warning at the beginning of this video. My editing software updated and it literally got rid of all of my save files, gave me backups of them, which basically low-key are all corrupted. And what I mean by that is like audio's fucked. Sometimes the audio will just lower because of reasons. Some of the images, no matter how many times I've exported, no matter every which way I've done it, will not show up. Some of them are just gone. A lot of shit was out of place and I was really proud of how I edited this video. All that shit is down the tubes. You will see minimum editing. Some stills are there, sometimes they're not, most of the time they're not. I had a whole thing going on. I had these new stills, I had a new intro and outro for this video. It was a whole thing. But it was just like, nah fam, nah, you're not doing that. And I would just, you know, redo it all, but like I'm going through a lot this week, so no, you just have to deal with it. So there's not gonna be an outro or an intro to this. It's just I don't have the patience right now. But you know, hi, it's Luna, and let's just get on to the part of the video that I could save. Now, as this is the internet, of course we have a good old controversy upon us. How quaint. A TikTok blew up with a woman complaining about the translations for this show.
Right here. The translation says, oh, I'm not a genius, but I can work it out. What she actually said was, I am very smart, I just never got a chance to study. That is a huge trope in Korean media. The poor person that's smart and clever and just isn't wealthy. That's a huge part of her character. And almost everything she says is like being botched translation wise, but you just missed, like, the writers, all they want you to know about her is that. You know what I mean?
Now, honestly, when I saw her TikTok, I was like, yeah, makes sense. She fluently spoke Korean and the subtitles didn't match up or weren't even that great when it came to the actual words being said. Turns out that it wasn't the actual English subtitles, it was the English closed captioning. Now, they're still kind of bad and the subtitles aren't really as spot on as she believes they should be. And that's her opinion. If she thinks that there are still some cultural tidbits that are left out that she thinks would be significant or that would enhance the experience for the viewer, that's her opinion. For example, she said they changed the title of the first episode to Red Light Green Light instead of its original title.
What this means in Korean is the mugunga flower has blossomed. The mugunga flower is the national flower of Korea. Metaphor alert! I mean, it's the first episode, and I need to tell you what the actual title of this episode is. The title of the episode is 무궁화 꽃이 피던 날, the day that the mugunga flower blossomed. Again, metaphor alert. I personally think that they could have just called it that in English and then like called the game that, and I think people would have understood it by watching it, and I don't understand. Because if they called it the day the mugunga flower has blossomed, people would have Googled that and then they would have like understood that metaphor, right?
Some people enjoy it in that way. It's like, well, I wouldn't have understood the other title, or it wouldn't have had the cultural reference behind it because I'm American. And some people are just like, well, I would enjoy seeing that, or I would have enjoyed knowing that. I could have just looked it up. It kind of was a mishmash of opinions, even just going in her comments. People on Twitter and a few other people did claim that she was ignoring comments and things like that. She did respond to what it was. She tried to explain that her original point was just that either way the translation isn't that great. It's not like it's spot on perfect or anything.
I just want to address one thing. People did point out that I was using closed captioning, which is way worse than English subtitles. I'm not exactly sure how that happened. When I turned the show on, it was dubbed and then I switched it over, and I guess maybe I clicked on CC, or that's the standard, I have no idea. And so I did switch to the English subtitles and they are substantially better. They're very, very good. All the little dialogue mistakes went away, but I think the main point of my first video, which is like the misses and the metaphors and like what the writers were trying to actually say, are still pretty present even with the English subtitles.
I think people took it a bit more hostile than it actually was. Honestly, in my opinion, the way she presented it was just like, this is just my opinion. I'm just making a TikTok. It was frustrating to me. If you disagree, that's fine, but chill, you know? Which is crazy because you hear people all the time shitting on dubs, subs, subs anything because they're either bad or they don't like them or they don't like the voices. Sometimes it's straight up just because they don't like the voices and they don't like how it's portrayed. They don't like how it's different from the subbed or the manga or whatever the case may be. They might not even know the original translation's off a bit. It's just a matter of opinion. And I don't think the girl wanted to come off as she was attacking the translators or making it seem like it was as big of a deal as people, I think, presented it as. I think she just made an observation. True, her observation turned out to be wrong, but she ended up correcting herself and still guiding the point of what she was trying to make. As someone who tried to learn Korean because I was interested in the language and the culture and it was really cool, I think people should do that more. But you know, it doesn't matter. Some people said the dub sucked, which even the dubbed and how that's translated is, you guys have to take in consideration, yeah, it might sound wonky because they want to flow a certain way. They want to flow with the words. It may be said too fast in a different language. So something that maybe takes several syllables for us may take a lot quicker, a lot slower, and you have to try to make up for that and then still make it mean what they said. And so I saw a healthy bit of like hate in the comments. You saw people making valid points and trying to correct her on what is going on and why it's like that and trying to incite her more. But to be fair, in a show like this, even explaining something like the marble game, not exactly how the rules are, kind of makes it a bit worse in my opinion, because it's a difference between you have to have 20 marbles or you have to take 20 marbles from someone. That's the difference, you know what I mean? If you have to have 20 marbles in general or just 20 marbles from another player, then you can just take it from whoever and you don't necessarily have to do it with your teammate. If it says you specifically have to take marbles from your teammate, that could be a loophole, and then I'll sit on a video like this and be like, hey, they could have done this and maybe we could theorize for the next time or this time or things like that. Like, those are the type of things that are important to me, because I'm thinking of 5 different ways of how I could beat this game and how I'll be the last one alive. You know what I mean? But honestly, it's not that serious. Lay off the girl. People were just doing too much at that point. God, my face itches like a bitch from this mask. It's like right above it. I can't even do it and I'm so irritated. Anyways, the next thing I want to talk about is that I don't think this is as original as I thought it was. Don't get me wrong. I was the first one to, I think, realize this isn't necessarily the most original concept. This isn't the best thing in the world. It's actually a really good concept, very interesting, and it kept my interest. But this is like a fucking Hunger Games type situation. This isn't original. I've seen shows like this. Hell, even Master of Martial Arts has the same like weird twist, evil ending. It's a lot more extreme. That one, the Master of Martial Arts, ended in sex slavery. But you get what I'm saying? Like, it still ended in a bunch of people either dying or getting hurt or terrible things happening to them. This is not an original concept. But I realized by this person's video, actually that's not even true. I found this out before that, but I found this video in its helpful. So if you don't know what I'm talking about or you want to learn more about it, I would watch this person's video. That there was a whole show, I guess either during or before the creator made this show, that is literally this show, and the parallels are ridiculous.
And again, there's other events from Kaiji that are directly lifted out into Squid Game. For example, there's the beam scene. There are 4 beams, just like there are 4 beams in this scene. Their job is to cross the beams wearing numbered jerseys, just like in Kaiji. Starting to look very, very similar, isn't it?
This is low-key, like, it's a little bit of a ripoff. And when I say ripoff, I mean, like, it's the difference between a chocolate chip cookie from the bakery of your local grocery store and, like, Chips Ahoy. The formula is a bit different. Probably how it's made and baked is significantly different, but it's still a chocolate chip cookie. You can't say, oh, these are 2 different. It's like, these are chocolate chip cookies. They're just in different packaging. You know, so everybody that said they wanted an anime version of Squid Game, this would be a fire anime. Apparently it kind of was. Now, that's not to take anything away from the creator, and I don't think anybody really meant to take anything away from the creator when they said that this low-key was kind of ripoff. They're just saying that don't think this idea is totally original. This person was inspired by this. Now, many people are inspired by many things. Hell, most of Disney is straight up ripoffs or inspirations from other people's works or other other works of fiction, rather, let's say that. So it's not like anything's original or anything. And again, we're not trying to take anything from the creator. It's just, it was very interesting to see the parallels between Squid Game and Kenji? I don't remember the name of the show, but I will insert it somewhere. It's not necessarily the idea that really grasps people, or gets people rather. It's the way you execute it, how you interpret it, and the ideas that come from your mind, and how you put that onto paper, onto the screen, how you animate it, whatever the case may be. And I think that was just interesting, you know, because this mask is very hard on my face. I'm going to take it off really quickly. Oh my god, that's gross. Disgusting. Anyways, okay, let's finally talk about how I feel about this show. This show is okay, and I haven't felt this not aggressively strongly about a show in a while.
What?
Does that make sense? Does that make me sound like a dick? I feel like I'm a dick when it comes to every show I review or talk about. I could just start picking it apart. It's not like I don't want to pick this one apart. It's just basic. I have a few points that are bothering me, and obviously some of them are with the realistic side of this. Some are just meh. I feel this way. This is my opinion. Example. Realistically, do they not have traffic cameras in Korea? I'm pretty sure they do. I don't think 17 vans can take some people and then just ride off with them, and then there has to be so many families or people reporting them missing at the same time, and they're gonna look at those cameras to see if they were last spotted anywhere, and then when they see there's like 17 vans that look the exact same, you would think they would do something about it. And if this has been happening over years, you'd think it would have been done. And you can't just solely have the whole fact of, well, it's rich people. Rich people can get away with a lot, but they can't hide everything, especially with the piss poor example of hiding anything they do in this show. Again, there's just 700 cars pulling up to a boat, all going the same direction at the same time. There was a lineup of cars. Someone's gonna see them. The detective waiting until the last possible second to actually call the police or anything. Stupid as shit. Him looking for his brother when his brother's probably dead. Dumbest shit of life. How all the subordinates are really dumb, but they're supposed to be trusted to keep a secret about a whole entire slaughterhouse here. They keep watchful eye over them, but apparently not watchful enough, because if one dies or something happens to one, nobody cares. As if they can't like fake their death and then sneak off, you know, somewhere, some shit. Like at this point they're sneaking organs to the black market, I assume. I think one of them can sneak off and then call the cops or something if they feel like it. Like you have to have a little bit more of a tight leash or have some reason for them not to do that. And then the guard system there, how the police officer snuck on. I'm like, bro, listen, that's not even just me being like it's not realistic. Like you telling me there was no guards who saw anything happen? Again, people can be followed, people can sneak on, any of that. You just thought, nah, we don't need guards or guards like that. Apparently the guy had a whole time to choke this man out, change, and all that shit. And I'm like, you really had time to do all that? He needed to do a lot, bro. Like that's a lot in a short amount of time in a soccer mom type van. So that was kind of iffy. And then they kept talking about this equality thing when it came to everybody and the rules, but I'm like, what equality? You got a glassmaker in here, you have a law student, you have a doctor. What equality? Even if he wasn't the most like physically fit man in the world, he's still a doctor. He understands loopholes and clause and things like that. These people went to college. There's some people who went to college, some people who didn't. We had one guy with a snake tattoo on his face. He's automatically scary because this whole thing is about killing. As soon as it's about killing, that type of random shit goes out the window. And even if it doesn't, that would be an advantage because you're not gonna die because you're a doctor and they need you. Let's be honest, if something happens or one of them gets cut up, they're going to need the doctor. You immediately have an advantage at that point. And the glassmaker thing of them not seeing that as a glassmaker, this man was making glass for like 20 years. Like 10, 20, at least it said. You didn't see he did an occupation for 10 or 20 years. That would be his main occupation on most of his documents. What are you talking about? So that shit didn't make sense. The fucking MC Escher board, the crazy stairs that he had, like, what is this? Why are you doing all this? You got this whole thing, got a whole playground, pink room, being extra. And my thing is, that bothers the shit out of me. Y'all have all this money to do this? What was the like arcade machines that are like changed for? The gold room was for? Like there's a lot of like confusing things. Who are these security guards? Where are you getting them from? Are they like old players? Are you paying them? Can you get more? Because you seem to be fine with them dropping like flies. Like I don't, you know, and they weren't dying that quickly, but if they did die, like it seemed like nobody really cared. So, you know, and then the camera placement was weird. Like y'all have cameras on every angle, but the important ones that people might escape from, you know. And I hate how they drew the line. We're killing you guys, okay? We have to draw the line at putting cameras in the bathroom. I have to say, a lot of the characters disappointed me as well. I'm gonna get off with like roasting just the technical part of it because obviously that's just me being me. Let's talk about the characters. Now, I'm gonna try to pronounce people's names. Haven't taken Korean in a long time. You guys know I have mush mouth, so excuse me if I don't say it right, or I say it wrong, or I say the wrong name. It's not on purpose. I low-key do it with like a lot of shows. I won't remember some people's. Listen, some shows names will be in English. Still won't remember them. Be like this person, that person. So it's just me. Let's talk about Sebyok first. Now, Sebyok, I think that's how you say her name. Okay. Unpopular opinion, I'm sure. I didn't like her. It was like really cool at first because she was really prepared. She got the knife. She went in the vents. Also, the green jello thing never became like a thing. Now I think about it, that she saw. I guess that just meant nothing. Or did it? Or am I just not remembering it right? I might be wrong about that, but I think it just meant nothing, I guess. I don't know. But it was like going from in the vents to, you know, just not trusting people and being a bit smarter to like kind of collaborating with people to like kind of doing nothing and just surviving like everybody else, which isn't bad. It's just, you know, it's cool, I guess. It was like, okay, well, why are you here? Like, you could kind of be a background character at this point and like I wouldn't really care. And so I didn't really feel sad when she died, you know. It kind of was just like that sucks. It was really more powerful for Sung-woo, I feel like Sung-woo's character was kind of, I wouldn't say solidified, but it was like a good moment for Sung-woo's character than it was for hers. Even if he let them quit, and you know, because I'm pretty sure that's how it was. It was like if they quit, the other people get money for the grieving family. I'm not sure that still works because after like the first time, but even if that were the case, that means that they've done unspeakable things, that they've gone through this tragedy and all this type of stuff, and they don't even get anything, which is unfair because also they risk their lives because of the other people not backing out to then get that stuff. And it's just this whole thing. It's like this very big tug of war that's happening, I'm sure, within him, and he's trying to justify the means of slitting a poor defenseless person's throat, pretty much. Which is why I think he sacrificed himself, because he's like, at this point somebody's gotta get that money and use it for its intended purpose, instead of making this game be nothing, you know, all for naught, pretty much. Now I think about it, giving the money to their families if they had quit in the first place, wouldn't that track it back to them? Or even if they gave it in like some random account or whatever the case may be, that would be weird. People getting random sums of money after their family have disappeared. I feel like there's so many ways that these people could have got caught, but that aside, Sung-woo's character was actually the best in my opinion. He went through the most. He had some form of critical thinking skills. He was there to survive, but he also made moves to secure his survival and as many people who could survive. Well, they didn't know how many people were going to survive, but however many people could survive, he wanted to survive and he wanted them to be on his side, so on top of him surviving, they could help each other. And what you did to Ali was stank, and I'll never forgive you. I cried big tears. I was not happy with that. While that frustrated me, it just made me love it more. And then there were characters like Ji Young and Hong Min-yo. Is that it? My thing's not loading fast enough. I'm irritated. I think it's Han Min-yo. I think that's her name. Is that? It might be the actress's name. I do get those confused as well. No, the Han Min-yo. I should have said this by their numbers. I think that would have been easier. But Jin Young, listen, I'm not ready to talk about her. I'm really not. She hit me different because she was just like, I don't really have anything to go back to. I didn't have really anything to live for. Like, you have something. You have dreams. My life's just shitty. Like, she just really never seemed like she was there. You know what I mean? She seemed seemed like she was giving up from the start, and that was just like, I knew her character was going down this direction. I was just not ready for it. I was crying, bro. Also, I know a lot of people didn't care, but like the couple dying, I get how he felt. You know what I mean? It's different doing that to someone you don't know, or even someone you do know but you're not close to, but that was like your spouse, and that guy just like offing himself. I was, that whole episode was just like hitting me different, you know? Even Ali, he looked so sad. He never tried to steal from anybody else or anything like that. He just did his best, and I was upsetting. I'm sure Lady wasn't too old, but that lady, everything was just sad when it came to her, because she said that she had kids at the beginning, but I don't think I believe that anymore. Whether she had them or not, you could tell she was very like outspoken, but she didn't have what she needed societally to be outspoken, if that makes sense. Like the other dude was outspoken. He said whatever he wanted. He did whatever he wanted because he had like, you know, a dick or a danger noodle on his neck, you know, just noodling around. She didn't have that. She didn't have that scare factor. So even though she was literally just like him, annoying, loud, aggressive, desperate, honestly, because she didn't look tough, because she wasn't big, they kind of just put her character to the wayside, which made me so kind of irritated. But then she was like racist against Ali, so I'm just like, you know what, fuck you, bitch. Even though in my opinion she's been kind of the most useful in her own special way anyways, maybe not in strength and things like that, but hell, she stayed alive this long, and that's something most everybody has done. But they were kind of being, that was nothing, they were kind of being a little bit too outwardly misogynistic my liking, and I'm sure that that's just like what it was supposed to be, but like all the misogyny for me was just a little bit like too much, and like I was not really here for it. But I did enjoy her character. She was annoying as hell, but I did actually enjoy her character. I enjoyed it as much as I did the man with a danger noodle on his neck. I think she learned his name like once, and so I really didn't pick that up, so I can't even fake like I know it. I can't look it up because my Wi-Fi is trash. But yeah, danger noodle guys, I feel the exact same way. They were annoying, irritating, but they were smart and cutting, and the fact that she took him out with her was like, she was my favorite character by the end almost, because I was just like, girl, listen, if you're gonna die because they're gonna try to push you down, take them with you, okay? I don't even know if you have the baby anymore. I doubt it. Body slam him. We're going together. This video is getting long, but I think my main thing that made this show, first of all, unwatchable again, like I'm not be able to watch this again, it's not happening, it's like a one go type thing, and also made it go down from like a 8, 9 out of 10 to a 5, 6 was the ending. They cut the ending, that last episode, they cut that episode out and just left that for the next season, maybe, or something where they could explain it a bit more or something like that. I would have been happy. Like, we get it, capitalism bad, rich people evil, we got it. We didn't need you to have that whole little thing at the end. The last episode was literally just low-key pushing more explanation on us. We did not need it. Your audience understood the message. They did need that extra push. It just got cliche sounding, and it was just a bit over dramatic. I will say Korean dramas tend to have that element where it'll be very perfect and then they kind of fuck it up at the end, where it'll be just too dramatic. And Korean dramas aren't the only ones that do that, but I see it more in Korean dramas. I'm just like, no, you didn't have to do that last part. You didn't have to explain that. We got it. It was so perfect. It was so great until you just over explained, and we don't need that, you know? But yeah. And honestly, as a one and done type series, or as like this is only a one season series, that was pretty good. I would enjoy this and I would recommend this to people. I'm not watching it again, you know, but I could say, oh yeah, that was a good show. You should watch that. But honestly, that's all I have to say for now. I mean, no, it's a lie. Because of the audio problems I had before, it cut out the ending part here, so I'm just not here to redo all that. So we're gonna go. I've been fairly consistent with uploading every week, which is great for me. So there's gonna be another video next week. I think it's gonna be on What If. I'm not really sure yet. But thank you guys for watching. Sub if you want to, and I will see you guys later. Have a nice day.